and you just pilling around with this every couple weeks and nothing major, then just use your JM327XYZ account.
And that's really
and
kind of how we started.
and that's how we started.
Yeah.
And so, all right, so real quick, things we're contemplating. We currently have a eBay store. This is just built off of Hope's already had an account.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been at it for about 2 months. It's been a little
Not
bit
quite,
longer,
not quite 2 months. Well, no, it has been 2 months.
just right around 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've learned a lot, a ton of stuff in 2 months. And most people, if you're starting this out, you might not have the luxury of time, and
We don't either, but
yeah,
who does?
but we're not leaving the house every morning and working 60 hours a week somewhere else. But we are consolidating our efforts because combining and stacking the things that you do instead of going 2, 5, 10 different directions every day, because you're not going to be productive in doing that. So anyway, we are contemplating because just like a YouTube channel can have a theme, an eBay store can have a theme, and
It's pretty recommended.
it is.
A lot of sellers will do everything, but most sellers kind of niche down.
And this, not everybody has to do this. If this is just something you want to do, you want to clean your garage out or your attic out, and you just pilling around with this every couple weeks and nothing major, then just use your JM327XYZ account.
And that's really
and
kind of how we started.
and that's how we started.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. But if you want to take it seriously, and where I would even consider seriously could be part time, then you need to consider branding. And then that's a whole different discussion about what branding means. But it also means that um, you shouldn't necessarily sell men's shirts and volleyballs. Those just don't. If people come looking for that, because ideally, if you're trying to brand something, you want people to follow your store, and you want to people to know, man, if you're looking for a men's shirt, you need to go to XYZ store.
Mm-hmm.
And if they send somebody there and they find volleyballs and a random book and something else that you picked up at a flea market, it's going to be confusing. Now, some people do everything stores, and
they're very successful.
and they are successful, and that's fine, because then that's your brand. It's a little bit of everything kind of deal. But for us, we're not necessarily interested in everything. And what we found by making listings is if you specialize, then your listings get better and better and better, and your research gets less and less and less. So if you do an everything store, every time you go to do a listing,
it's brand new.
Yeah, and you're starting from scratch. And if you're not doing a little research and doing a good listing, then your item's not going to sell, or else it's not going to sell for any money at all. So this is where we are considering not closing the current eBay store, but potentially starting a separate one. And in doing that, we would document every single step of the way so that we can share with someone that's interested in do this, how you could do it. And this could save you years of trying to figure this out on your
Trial
own.
and error. Yeah. I wish that we had been able to see someone show us step by step how to create the first listing. I don't feel like we actually had that.
No,
We learned by trial and error.
we did. I mean, we're still learning.
And right, there's a ton to learn, and the reality is you never learn it all because eBay is constantly, just in the first week that we were making listings, we saw how the listing process started changing. And so they're constantly rolling out new features. There's a new product research feature now that was not there 2 months ago. So we have learned a lot already that is going to help us in sourcing and making decisions while we're
Well,
out.
that's new in the app, which is different
Okay.
than they had a version of it on the web based, but this is new for the app, which is key when you're sourcing.
Clearly, we're learning different things at different times. So,
We are, which is part of the reason why we're discussing the combining our efforts
mhm,
because we were in two different worlds, and so a lot of it was not worth sharing because we weren't doing what the other person was doing. So
mhm.
that is a whole video for another day, and we would highly recommend that you consider finding something if you are, um, spouses trying to do this or friends or whatever that you get on the same page and that you're doing the same thing. And that applies to so many things in life. But anyway, all that to say is that we need to do some thinking. We need to do some branding discussions, and then we will show you all the little things that for us it took a minute to figure out, and
Mhm.
you could figure it out. You could watch a video and have it done in minutes versus months. Um,
So, another thing that we're talking about doing too is creating a second YouTube channel that will be focused on the eBay business and what we're learning and being able to share and focus,
document the journey.
document that journey, and probably starting over occasionally every maybe once a year or something
Yeah,
because the process will change.
the whole here's where you need to start needs to be redone every year
Mhm.
because I promise you, if you're looking at this is how to do eBay in 2020, that is
It's
not how
totally
you do
different.
it today.
And we
And
do catch ourselves watching a video and then saying, "Wait a minute,
how old is
this
this video?
was this was 2 years ago." It's totally different. Shipping is totally different than it was 2 years ago. So
And that can confuse you.
mhm,
And tips and strategies from 4 years ago, or 6 years ago, or even last year,
mhm,
are not what this is a moving target. So that is something to consider if you have any interest in that. To me, that's a positive because if this becomes monotonous, I want out. But
right,
if it's a challenge and it's trying to figure it out as you go along,
mhm,
then that keeps me in the game. But you know, if you are going to take it seriously, these will be things. I don't even mean like everybody in your family is doing it full time together. But if you really want something to sell, and you have a goal, then you want to do some of the things that we're going to discuss on the front end, so it doesn't create a nightmare for you on the back end, and you won't
mhm,
know that until it's too late, and then it's like impossible to fix. So
right. So if we can save someone else from some of the pain that we've already experienced,
we
then
we
we're worth
we've
it.
come on the heels of some people, some resellers that have been doing it for 10, 15 years, and they've shown us some stuff that within less than 2 months we've not caught up to them volume wise, but we've bypassed a lot of pain that
Mhm,
probably would have taken us 2 to 3 years to figure out. So grateful for that, and then hopefully we will pass on something that you can do, and get set up on a weekend and be ready to go.
right. So we are having a lot of fun. We're being challenged in a lot of ways, but we're having a lot of fun. We're enjoying our time together doing this, and we just want to share it so that other people like us can start now to develop a side business, maybe that will become full time. And if you're like most of us as Americans, we're approaching retirement years, and our retirement living is not fully funded.
Mhm.
So, we need to be looking into something that we can continue to do and to build and that we enjoy doing. So if you enjoy the gaming sort of aspect of eBay, I think you would really enjoy doing this.
And we do want to prove that you can teach an old dog a new trick
Absolutely.
because we never used eBay before this. So.
Right. I had an eBay account for probably 15 years and it completely overwhelmed me. I'm not sure I ever bought anything on eBay. I just had a login, and that's all I knew. And
I
so,
never looked at anything on eBay.
right.
So
So we jumped in, feet first, and
so far so good.
yeah, it's been a good experience. And we just want to share that and help someone else to explore and experience the same thing.
Yep.
So,
So we'll keep you updated and then let you know when all the new stuff gets set up.
have a great one.